I am so excited today because we are in the month of March, which has been declared by President Carter to be Women's History Month, where to honor us women and the contributions that we have done throughout history. And today I am lucky to be talking about that with Tonya Davis, who is the founder and CEO of Fifth Dimensional Success. She helps wellness entrepreneurs identify strategies, systems, and processes to skyrocket their business. And in 2019, she was chosen to work for Tony Robbins and Dean Grazadeh as an impact coach. Welcome, Tonya.
Hi, Michelle. Michelle, thank you for having me. It's so excited to be here. Such an honor. Congratulations on the success of your podcast. My goodness, I checked you out and I see that you were in a top 7. I'm thinking, yes, a lot of podcasts don't even last beyond like 3 months, 4 months, just to say. So great accomplishment. So happy to be here with you today.
Tonya, you are amazing and have helped so many women entrepreneurs. And we are talking about Women's History Month. Why do you think celebrating our accomplishments, women's accomplishments through the years is so important?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite holidays. And what I love about Women's History Month, that it's an international thing, right? It's a international recognition of women all around the world. And, women, we have always, when you look at the history of women, we've kind of played the back seat, right? We've taken a back seat, or we had taken a role behind the scenes where the men have led. You always see men in the forefront, men presidents, men CEOs, men physicians, men doctors, physicians, and then beginning to see women standing up, right, in their true talents and their true powers. And then this month allows the world to see all of the contributions that women make and how we are changing the world. What we do matters. And, I've heard, and I've tested this myself, women, we have the soft skills to be, leaders. And we find that the best organizations are those that have women leaders who are sitting at the forefront. Those women are in the boardrooms or they're in the C-suite. And so it's really, really important, not just for us to be able to stand up and embrace what we're doing, but for the little girls who are behind us, the young women, to see this, to know that it's possible that you can be a leader and you can still do this standing in your femininity, right? You don't have to be masculine to be powerful, that you can be a female and be just as powerful. So I love this month.
Oh my gosh, Tonya, I love how you brought that up about the generation behind us. I have a daughter who's 10 and 13. So that is, I didn't even really think about that until you brought that up. That is really powerful of the generation that is coming up. Now, us midlife women, we've kind of had a different experience in the workforce, us women over 50. I experienced, for me, my bosses broke a lot of the glass ceilings for us, but they still wanted us to have to work for it. Let's just put it in a nice way. But it seems now that we are embracing each other. It seems now that we are really kind of helping each other out a little bit more. Is that one of the reasons why you decided to leave corporate America and start your own business and helping? I know you help men too, but also helping women entrepreneurs.
Yeah, Michelle, you're spot on when you talk about this community, right? We're beginning to see this community of women where we're inspiring and motivating, supporting each other. And I think that's really, really important for us to make the changes that we inspire to make, right? It takes a collective to do that. And so in my world of corporate, and I think you have that background as well in that corporate arena, everything is all about competition, right? It's all about the external competition, gaining more market share, beating your competitor. And then internally in the corporations, it's also about, staying ahead of the other one so that you can be available and ready for the next promotion, competing internally. And for me, we find out that when we work collectively, we get so much more accomplished, right? And I love the saying my grandmom used to say, you rise up together, right? And so if we can form this collective group of support, we find that we accomplish so much more. And so my decision to move from corporate into entrepreneurship, for me, I just wanted to do something more meaningful, right? Yes, people say you must have been crazy. Why would you leave the benefits, the perks, the salary, and all of the things that come along with that? But after a while, you realize that you have this calling. I'm describing it in that sense where you feel a need to go out and do something greater than yourself, be a part of something greater than yourself. And I see all these healthcare professionals out there, women a lot, or launching their businesses, their wellness business. And because I've been in the healthcare executive administrative role for so long, I felt the need to go out and help them deliver their message, expand their businesses, create a profitable, business so that they can reach more people. And, I'm not the one who's out there delivering the wellness service, but I'm the person behind the scene that's helping them get out there to reach more people, to heal more people, to help more people reach their greatest, physical, mental, and spiritual state. So that was really important for me.
Which is wonderful because women over 50 are starting to be this powerhouse of entrepreneurs. And I want to come back and talk about that. But first, it's interesting because now we have the first female vice president here in America, which is exciting. And she actually, while President Biden was having under anesthesia, she was president for like a couple of hours. So that that's exciting. So it does feel like we are making some ground way with that, but we still only make 82 cents per the man's dollar. What do you think we can do to help our children so that when they get to, working age, it will be more, the dollar to dollar?
Yeah, well, it's good to hear that we're at 80 cents, 82 cents, you said, per dollar. You look at that number 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we were somewhere around 50%. And then it also, when we look at the disparity in compensation between men and women, you also see, really, really large gaps depending on the industry. So, for example, when you look at Hollywood, female actors, actresses and male actors, and then that gap there. I know that there's a lot of work around that as well, trying to close the gap. I think that 82 cents is probably an average because there's some industries where we're really lagging behind. Academia is another one. So you look at female professors versus male professors and compensation there. And so it's a problem, but we're making progress. So that's the good news to see that we're making progress. And so when we talk about empowerment, how do we move the needle? How do we get to a compensation level where it's fair, it's equitable, and it's all about your value? See, it doesn't matter if I'm a male or female, if I'm bringing value to the organization, right? And my value is adding to the bottom line, I should be compensated for the value that I contribute to the organization. And so one of the things I say to my daughter and my granddaughter, it's, hey, you be your own pioneer. And so, for women, and we're beginning to see this happen and it's unfolding. If the company is not going to pay you what you're worth, take those same skills and go and launch your own company. Create a joint venture with someone else who's in that industry, partner up and go out and become the competition for the employer. Why not create your own? And so it's so right now, the opportunities are limitless, right? With the internet and virtual meetings and virtual conferences, it's unlimited, it's limitless. And so that's one way to do it. Another way is to also begin to talk to our little boys, right? Raising our sons, and talking to the men in our family about equity, and getting them to understand that it's a problem, because for many men, they don't know. They're clueless about it. And when you tell them about it, they're like, are you kidding me? You get paid 50%, 50% less, than the guy who sits in the office next to you doing the exact same thing. So it's all about educating our men as well, and helping them, help us. So yes, I do focus on women, but I think it's also important to bring the men in the conversation so that they can also, help us. They could be leaders and champions along with us so that we can all reach equity.
Oh gosh, that is great. I love that idea. And it's an everyone issue, not just a woman issue, but everyone. So I think that's absolutely brilliant. And you did give us an example of start your own business. And Forbes says that women over 50 are the powerhouse of entrepreneurs. So what is happening?
Exactly that. Women are saying, hey, if I want to get the recognition and if I want to get compensated for what I'm doing, then I'm going to go out there and, start my own business. But I want to also believe that perhaps the majority of that is around passion, right? Having a passion or desire to be a part of something greater than yourself, or, to do that one thing that you've always dreamt about doing. But, in our younger years as women, as wives, right, and mothers, right? So it depends on where you are in your life. And I know for myself, I go through this 10-year phase, right? Every 10 years, I'm reevaluating, who am I this decade? What have I learned? Where am I going? And so I think women in our 50s, when you hit your 50s, kids are older, you've already done the whole career thing. You're thinking about, hey, what impact do I want to make on the world? What do I want to be known for? What do I want to leave behind? So we start thinking about things outside of ourselves, outside of the family, community, and impact. And so with that passion, people with that type of passion tend to be most successful in launching businesses than those who are still trying to figure out what they want to do and be when they grow up, right? And that's in your 20s and 30s, you're still trying to figure it out. So I think it's more about women saying, hey, I deserve more. And also I'm passionate about this thing, and now it's the time to do it. Why not?
Exactly. Well, we also have the skills that we've, worked in jobs in corporate, and now we want to do something that means a little bit more to our lives. If there is somebody who's thinking about starting their own business, what advice would you give them? Because they might be hesitating. There's a lot of work, and being a solopreneur, as I am one, it's not easy. So what would you say to somebody who's kind of on the fence and thinking about doing that?
Yeah, so, I would say this, it's never a perfect time to launch out there and just do it. I know a lot of women will say, oh, I need to wait until there's a perfect time. So we know that there's never a perfect time. There's always something that's going to come up. But if you're passionate, if you have an idea, right, or desire to launch your own business, that's the first, that you're already ahead of the curve because you have a strong desire to do it. What I say to women who are getting out there to start, make sure first you have a clear and simple message. What problem will you solve? What is the problem you're solving? Be crystal clear around who your target audience is, right? So if you're solving a problem, then who are these people you're solving a problem for? what are their, what are their desires? What are their challenges? What's keeping them up at night? And so if you have the solution, for example, I don't know about you, Michelle, but social media marketing, OMG, right? That's one of those things that it's not my thing, right? It's outside of my genius. And so I have to reach out and have someone that is a pain point for me. And so when you think about what are some of the pain points out here, and take a look at your skill set, go into your inventory, your personal inventory, how can you help? So you can also look at it in another way. What really pissed you off that's happening in society? Is that something there that just really gets under your skin and someone needs to fix it? Well, that someone could possibly be you, right? What can you do to show up to fix it? So passion, I say passion and then the thing that pisses you off, the two P's. So having that clear message. And then another thing I find with women is that, you feel like, oh my God, sales, I don't want to sell. Mm-hmm. Well, I tell people this, if you have a solution to someone's problem, for example, if you're a nurse and someone is, on a train with you on a bus and that person is sick and something is happening, I can go over and help. Would you sit there and say, oh no, they may not accept me? Or, oh my goodness, what would people think? No, you just jump up and you go and help. And so when you think about service is really helping others. And so if you have a skill or a talent that can help someone else reach a different level, you cannot hold that to yourself, right? It's your responsibility to get out there and help. And so it's less of a selling and it's more of adding value and helping. So if you look at it differently, then it'll allow you to launch out there. So selling has been an area of where women struggle because they're like, I don't like to do that. And then also taking a long time to launch, trying to line the business up and it's 6, 7, 8 months and you're still trying to, lay out the plan. Get out there, get started, tap into people who can help you. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals, and then the business began to evolve. I mean, I can go through a whole list of do's and don'ts, but that's the main thing. Have a clear, simple message first. Know what it is you want to do, who you want to serve, and how you can serve them. And then just get started.
Oh gosh, that's brilliant. So I love service is a huge motto for me. What I am doing is all about service for midlife women. And I kind of want to get those do's and don'ts list actually from you.
Yes, sure. I will send that to you. Yes.
So we'll have a link to get that. But, service is also a big component for Tony Robbins and Dean Grazadeh. And in 2019, you became an impact coach for them. How did that come about and are you enjoying it?
Oh gosh, I've learned so much from working with these guys. So in 2019, yes, Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi launched their first what they call a virtual education program, right? So they're all about alternative education. And when we look at our educational system, there are some problems and challenges, right? It's so old and antiquated, getting our education system fixed is going to take many, many years. But there are trailblazers like Tony and Dean who are saying, hey, let's take your skills. Let me help you identify what you do really, really well and who you can serve with those skills. And now let's package those up into a business, right? And it could be just a hobby, something that you look at as a hobby, but you can turn that around and make this a profitable business. They launched that in late 2018, 2019. I signed up for the 6-month program, went through the program, and it's just so eye-opening about so many avenues of getting into the business industry, this online business. And so in 2019, they also put a call out for coaches. They said, hey, we'd love to have those people who've completed our program to also be an impact coach. 600 people entered this, and we had to, a part of this, you had to go through 3 interviews. So, round 1, if you made round 1, they'll send you an email, round 2, and then round 3. So I said to my husband, I'll go ahead, I'll try out for this. It'll just be the experience. If I don't get it, it's the experience that I'll walk away with, right? Round 2, wow, made it to round 2. Get the email, you made it, congratulations, you made it to round 3. And I'm like, I made it to round 3. So out of 600 coaches around the world, they selected 20 coaches. And so I was one of the 20 out of 600. They flew us into Arizona to go through this massive training, what Tony will say, immersion, right? So you go through this immersion, and it was just an amazing experience. So yeah, I've been coaching for them. I fly into Arizona once a month, and we do a virtual coaching, and we're coaching entrepreneurs from all around the world. It's just amazing. Tony is just, well, everyone knows Tony Robinson. I will say he is certainly a man of passion and fire to help other people become, the person that they were sent here to be. And I've just feel privileged to be a part of that movement. Yeah.
That's incredible. So now that you're looking at the world, and we bring it back to the March being International Women's Month, and all of your experiences that you are having, what bit of advice could you leave us midlife women with, being an impact coach and your former experience as corporate and being in the health and wellness industry and helping wellness coaches? What is something that you would like to sort of leave us to inspire us to continue on with what we're doing and maybe do a little more action?
Yeah, that's it's a great question, Michelle. And I guess I should use my own experience too. As women when we're going through this whole, what we call, I don't like to call it midlife crisis. We're going through this transition where you're looking at all of the experience and all of the life that you've lived pre-40s, pre-50s, and you're making this decision about, what do I want to do next? But what I like to say, it's about the confidence, knowing that you are valuable, right? You are valued. All of your experience, all of your lessons learned, all of the past. I say, your past has prepared you for the future, and your future is now. So take everything that you've learned and feel confident that you have a lot to offer, right? Because when we think about wisdom and we think about people that we tend to point to as a wise person or someone I'd love to learn from, they're usually people who have lived life for a while. They've gone through some things, right? They have lessons they can teach us. And so we each have a story. And I've heard your story, and I was just touched by your personal story, and I'd love to connect with you and we talk about that some more. And it doesn't, sometimes people wait until there's a tragedy or something of that sort before you realize that every day is precious. And every day that we're giving, we have an obligation to share our story and to help someone else. And so for my sisters, you and all the other sisters who are in that 40, 50 age, be proud of who you are. And so I say this, the most important relationship you will ever have is the relationship with yourself. And so getting to know who you are at the very core essence. See, fifth dimensional success, when I chose that name, there's a lot of meaning behind that. Fifth dimensional success is really about living out your core essence, standing up in who you are and operating at a level beyond societal norms. That's fifth dimensional success. And so if I first tap into who I am, and I start building a relationship with myself, then I'm going to show up differently, right? Then there's going to be that energy that's going to pull people to me and not away from me. And then people will see that I matter, that I have something to offer, because first I have to feel that within myself. So I say that, build a relationship. That's the most important thing, is to start with yourself. And then your relationship to God, to universe, whoever you want to, you recognize relationship with self and relationship with your maker. And then stand up in that boldness of who you are, because the world needs us. This isn't a time to sit back and be quiet. It's a time to be bold, right? And it's almost like something about when you over 40, you become bolder and you say things that you wouldn't have said in your 30s, right? And then you can feel like you can blame it on age. You can say, well, you know what? I'm old enough to say that. This is my opinion, right? And so, yes, I love where I am in life. I am embracing who I am. And I encourage all of my sisters to do the same.
Tonya, this has been an amazing interview. I am so grateful that you came on the New Mid. How can people connect with you?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm all out there in social. I have an awesome social media team. So I am on, you can find me on Instagram at the 5D Success. That's THE 5D Success. So I'm also on Facebook. And once you get to my Instagram, you can also get to a link, which is my link tree, and you get to see all the nice little tools and resources I have out there to help those entrepreneurs who are in the wellness space. But yes, I'm also in Clubhouse. So you can hear me out there speaking in Clubhouse. I'm out there twice a week. And yeah, I'd love to connect with, any of the women. If I can help, reach out.
Well, thank you so much, Tonya. This has been an incredible interview. It has been so much fun.
Oh, Michelle, thank you for having me. I will be tuning in and listening. You have so many amazing episodes. I'm trying to work through. I think you're over 106 or 126
Yeah,
or something.
you're actually, I do have bonus episodes, but you're actually 121, my 121st interview. So
Wow.
Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me, Michelle. Have a wonderful week, rest of the week.